Hi there, these comments are for HD. I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all the lessons at OTCOnline and you're doing some pronunciation practice. Finally. Yes, this is exactly what I've been trying to get you to do. Remember, a lot of people don't want to do the pronunciation practice. They just want to do speaking practice tests over and over and over. And guess what? They end up in TOEFL hell. I'm not kidding you. So it's good. You're starting to address some of the problems you're having. Remember that the TOEFL will grade you on the speaking according to the delivery, which is pronunciation, according to language use, which is grammar and vocabulary, and then topic development. So we're addressing one of the areas important to your being able to score high. Here's your recording, and then here is the paragraph that you're working on right now. So you're focusing around thought groups. So it says, remember that once you've placed prominent stress in a word, you will need to background it if it's mentioned again because it's no longer new information. Okay, so let's see if you do that. So as you're bringing up new information, as you're reading it in this paragraph, you're putting a little more stress on that information. And I'm going to help you with all aspects of thought groups and blending here, by the way. Okay, let's get started. Let's do one sentence at a time.
Landslides are a common occurrence in the Santa Cruz Mountains.
Good. And then you say occurrence, not occurrence, but occurrence. The R you're pronouncing like you would in Arabic, but that's not how we pronounce it in English. In Spanish, yes, you would say occurrence, but not in English.
Our intense winter storms, high rainfall amounts, and the steep terrain are all conducive to landsliding.
Good.
Earthquake activity added to the problem.
Okay.
The big earthquake of 1906 set...
Now you say earthquake activity adds to the problem, so you should probably put a little bit more stress on earthquake activity because that's a new idea.
Of dozens of large landslides in the Santa Cruz Mountain,
Okay.
some of which claimed human lives. The potential for loss of life and the property is much greater today. Although nature...
It's much greater, not greater. It's much greater today.
...caused landslides are beyond our control. Most recent landslides in the Santa Cruz Mountain have been caused by a combination of human activity and natural factor.
Now you're not pronouncing your grammatical word S endings. Do you know that? I wonder. So remember, lives, landslides, mountains, factors, slopes. So make sure if you have a plural S, possessive S, third person present singular inflection S, you have your ED endings, INGs, all those inflectional endings, you need to make sure you're pronouncing those endings.
Human activity which act...
No, you said human activity which act to. No, it's human activities which act to further destabilize slopes.
To further destabilize
To further, not fur, but to further destabilize
slopes are logging, woodland conversion, road building, house construction.
It's housing construction.
And any activity which alter normal drainage pattern.
You have not pronounced a single grammatical word ending in this paragraph. This is why you do pronunciation practice. When you do this kind of practice, I can isolate quite quickly certain patterns you're having in your speech, and then you know you need to address those things. For example, right now I'm noticing a lot of problems with the R, especially in the middle of a word, and then problems with grammatical word endings.
Landslides are a common occurrence in the Santa Cruz Mountains. Although nature-caused landslides are beyond our control, most recent landslides in the Santa Cruz Mountain have been caused by a combination of human activity and natural factor.
Okay.
Human activity which act to further destabilize slope are logging, woodland conversion, road building, house construction, and any activity which alter normal drainage pattern.
Good. So consistently, you did not pronounce any grammatical word endings, right? But I think what you were focusing on and is putting a little bit more stress on that new information as you bring it into the paragraph. I think you were okay there for the most part. But if I read that, let me read what you just read, right? Let me go back to the beginning. And you're a little bit slow and you speak too slowly when you do your speaking practice also. So let's speed up a little bit here. Landslides are a common occurrence in the Santa Cruz Mountains. Our intense winter storms, high rainfall amounts, and steep terrain are all conducive to landsliding. Earthquake activity adds to the problem. The big earthquake in 1906 set off dozens of large landslides in the Santa Cruz Mountains, some of which claim human lives. The potential for loss of life and property is much greater today. Although nature-caused landslides are beyond our control, most recent landslides in the Santa Cruz Mountains have been caused by a combination of human activity and natural factors. Human activities which act to further destabilize slopes are logging, woodland conversion, road building, housing construction, and any activity which alters normal drainage patterns. So that's the speed I'm looking for. But you're a native speaker, Michael. That's a good point. I'm a native speaker, and you can't maybe go exactly the speed that I'm doing, but I think, remember, E-Rater or Speech Rater is going to listen to your practice test or listen to your speaking and notice that you're speaking a little too slowly. And the speech writer may pick up on your omission of grammatical word endings. That's something that I want you to work on. Remember to pronounce the endings at the ends of your words, especially your nouns and your verbs. Right? I think you can improve in that area also. And thank you for completing the practice test.